Welcome back to Pack Mentality. And today I need to address something that I've been seeing a lot lately the past few weeks is the number one pattern I've noticed with people who stay unfit and unhealthy is the fact that they are constantly looking for a way around the work. Like every decision for them is based on making things easier than actually become stronger. And they want to find a way around it, not a way through it. And just as someone who's been like this before in the past, like, believe me, I've struggled with this a lot, and only recently I think I've gotten better at this. But the moment you see this pattern, you stop being trapped by it. And the number one pattern I noticed right here is that we can't find a way to avoid the work. And a lot of times it's the boring stuff. It's that stuff that doesn't look sexy. It's not the stuff that you see on Instagram. It's not the stuff that you see all the cool elite people doing. It's not the stuff that you see people doing behind the scenes that they post about on their Instagram stories. So let's go into like why this actually matters in the first place and why people, including myself, are always looking for a shortcut is because your body will adapt to what you repeatedly avoid and also will adapt to it repeatedly is exposed to. And if you constantly look for an easier option, then eventually your entire life is going to become harder. I think we all know this. It's like every time, if we always chose the easy option all the time, I don't think any of us would really be happy because we always choose the short-term option for and then sacrifice any kind of long-term gain here. And fitness is the opposite. It's like you do all the things that you don't really want to do now up front, and then you reap the benefits of that later on down your life or later on down in your fitness career. And oh, excuse me, almost swallowed my gum there. And the problem in this day and age is definitely not a lack of information. There's abundance of information out there, especially for free. And the internet these days, even the social media, does a better job of actually filtering what's good and what isn't. And uh, we know what we know we already know it works. We know it works, and we just as human beings though we don't want the discomfort attached to it to actually make those changes. And what this is like, it's like trying to save money while refusing to work more, learn more, or change spending habits. It's like we all know those people, right? There's always an excuse. And you people like this, that what they do is they want the outcome without becoming the person capable of producing the outcome. It's like they see the end result and then they're like, I want that. I want that, but I don't want to have all the things attached to the lifestyle of actually getting that. It's kind of like people who, they want to be a rock star or they want to be a musician. They want to be a professional athlete, but you actually have to look at all the negative things that they have to do all the time. It's like, guess what? You have to be in the studio all the time. Are you good at songwriting? Are you good at just sitting there and hitting a bunch of dead ends constantly all the time? And the athlete's the same way. It's like, if you want to be a professional athlete in any kind of discipline, it's like, well, do you want to practice at 5 a.m.? Do you want to get up early? Do you want to constantly be hounding on your nutrition? Do you want to be dealing with potential injuries that could end your career? Do you want to be like, do you want to do all these boring, monotonous things that people don't talk about? Because guess what? It doesn't get views on Instagram. So why are they going to post about that? Why are they going to let you know about that? Now, some of them do. And, all the hand claps to them. But at the end of the day, I think we're always looking for the sexy thing, not the thing that's actually going to get us there. And this was me. Like when I was doing CrossFit and I want to go to the regionals, the two big things I neglected was my mobility. Especially my overhead mobility, did not work on that at all. I just thought I wasn't strong enough overhead. And then only recently have I gotten better in my overhead positioning. It's gotten significantly better. And also my nutrition on the back end. My nutrition, my recovery, I ate like crap. I'm actually baffled by how I was actually a semi-decent rep racer back in the day. But I was not, man, if I had those two things dialed in, I would have been a lot better. But those things were boring. I didn't see those things boring. I liked eating Chipotle all the time. I liked going in all the time. I liked eating out. I liked not tracking or not knowing how much protein, carbs, and fat I was eating. Like I just ate kind of whatever I wanted. And I was like, well, I'm working out a lot. I can kind of get away with that. Like, no, that's not the case. Same thing with mobility. I was like, well, if I put myself in this position enough times, I should be able to do it. Like, that's not true. It's like you have to exaggerate those positions so that way I can get into them with a minimal warm up, or that it'll prevent injury. Like I won't be as tight in these certain areas, especially my hips and my shoulders. Like those were always tight, did not stretch those. Luckily, I never got injured, but I could have been a lot better had I just done those little minute things. And also the gains that you see from these things come a lot faster. And I think a lot of people, especially in the CrossFit world, try to avoid aerobic work. At least at our gym, that's what I see a lot of. Yes, I'm talking to you. Is I see a lot of people, especially if you have more muscle, or especially more of the dudes, is that they'll avoid any kind of aerobic intervals or aerobic work because it's first off, it's not fun. Like I get it. Believe me, I don't like it any more than you do, but I still do it. But you have to realize that also the more muscle mass you have, like a male, you need more aerobic work because when you have a bigger aerobic base and you can deliver oxygen more efficiently to your muscle groups. From there, if you can do that, then guess what? You're gonna have better workouts. The lungs aren't gonna get as tight during workouts. Also, you're gonna recover better between not only training sessions, but also pieces and strength, even strength pieces between like sets of squats and everything in between that. And so it's easy to neglect this. It's really easy to look at the outcome and forget about this entire process leading up to this. But let's actually talk about what this looks like. Is that what does this person do? I don't want to pick on anyone, so let's just choose an avatar. So these are the people who want supplements before consistency. They want fat burners before fixing nutrition. They want motivation before they take action. They want recovery tools before they get better. They condition their body to handle more volume. And then they want hacks before habits. Now, what we have to do is we have to invert this on its head. It's like we need consistency before we start adding in supplementation. We also have to make sure that we have to fix our nutrition, get that dialed in, aka I'm talking to myself before we add in things like supplementation. I mean, fat burners are crap anyways, but for some reason they still make them. You know why? Because people still buy them. And then you have to, sorry, not people want, but you have to take action before you get motivation, not the other way around, because you just have to start doing something. And guess what? Over time, you won't need motivation because it just becomes a habit of what you're currently doing. And then you need habits before hacks. Like, I don't even really know what a hack is at this point. Like, the real hack is just doing the work and doing the work you don't want to do. That's like the ultimate hack. I'd actually say if you take anything away from this podcast, the number one hack you can do is do the things that you already know that you need to do, that you don't want to do, but you know it will make you better. That's really simple. And I need to take this advice for myself too. I mean, a lot of these podcasts I make are notes to myself because a lot of times I see myself making the same mistakes. And that's why I get so frustrated, is because, man, like I've made all these mistakes you guys have made. Now I see you all going down the exact same path. And I'm like, please don't do what I did. You're going to waste years. Let me save you a few years because I've tried that. I've done this for a long time. I don't want you wasting your time. I don't want to waste my time. Let's do it the right way the first time. And what this is like putting on racing tires on a car with no engine. It's like everyone wants to do the fancy stuff first before they can even build the foundation. And then people like this, what they want to do is they want to upgrade performance without even building the machine. So you have to lay that foundation first. And the issue is that the second something exposes a weakness is that you'll immediately try to replace it with something else. Or like, for example, like if you're bad at running, suddenly, you need a supplement. If burpees gas them out, like I'm just going to avoid burpees. I'm going to do less of them. Or if they lack conditioning, they'll search for a shortcut instead of actually taking the time to do some aerobic intervals or some conditioning intervals to actually build that engine themselves. Now, most people aren't stuck because they don't know what to do. They're stuck because they keep negotiating with the process. And we talked a lot about negotiating in the past, so I'm not going to get into that right now, but the process is the process. And unfortunately, the long way is the shortcut. I've heard someone say that before. It makes no sense, but it's true. It's like, because you're wasting so much time finding shortcuts that if you just took the long route, you would have been there by now. And so let's talk about what fit people actually lean into and the thing that they're worst at, just as from a mindset perspective, because weaknesses, they don't disappear from avoidance. They usually find a way to grow. And ignoring rust doesn't stop corrosion. Guess what? It spreads. And what people do is they attack weaknesses directly. They stop constantly escaping discomfort. They use their workouts or even workouts they don't do well at as feedback, and they build capacity intentionally. So for example, guess what? If they're not good at running, what do? They fix their form. They start doing more running intervals. If they are weak overhead, they train more. Hence, that's me. I've been working on that. If they have poor conditioning, they stop avoiding conditioning. If they're, this is a big one. If they don't have great mobility, what do? They work on their mobility consistently, and consistently being the main point here. The mobility is probably a big one that I see a lot of. Like, you see people who can't get into certain positions and they complain, well, I'm just like, I'm just tight here. Or I'm like, oh, I'm not that bad. It's like, yeah, you are that bad. And the issue is that strong people treat weaknesses like projects, something to get better at, something to always improve, which makes it actually fun for them because it's fun getting better at things. Weak people treat weaknesses like identities, like they are stuck with this. This is just how they are. And that's not the case at all. And what they need to understand is that the workout is exposing them is probably the workout they need the most. It's just a mindset shift, right? It just depends on what kind of a person you are. Like if I just get gassed out on like a run and I'm like, oh man, like I did it well and everything else, but man, that run sucked. I should probably do something about the running. And then other people will just say, man, I just suck at running. What supplement can I take? Or is it my shoes? It's like, it's always something other than themselves. It's like, oh man, like there must be something wrong with either something, I'm not taking something or I'm not wearing the right gear. It's not you, of course. It's not your fault. Um, and then they stop, and then fit people also stop taking struggle personally. They stop needing to feel good at everything immediately. And you have to remember that not being good at something, that it's okay to suck. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's actually fun because nothing's more, because when you get those beginner gains from something, it's like the most rewarding thing in the world. Like, for example, my pressing is terrible. And at the beginning of the year, January 1st, I'm like, man, I'm going to make it a goal this year to get, I don't care. I don't even have a number. I just want to get better at pressing than what I was when I started the year. And so I made a point, and this is a good piece of advice that I give myself. And, this is what works for me, may not work for you, but take it or leave it, is that when I'm bad at something, I need to do it every day because otherwise I'm going to forget. Like if I just tell myself I'm just going to do this every day until I'm better at it, I will improve in some form or fashion. That doesn't have to be intense every day. It doesn't have to be maxed out every day. It just has to be habitual. So that way I don't forget. And also I lock in my movement patterns. And that way, man, I got in my pressing today. And we just did Murph yesterday. It was one of the best push-ups I've ever had throughout any of my Murphs because I've been working on my pressing almost every day. I think the longest I went this year without pressing was when I was in Miami for Wadapalooza. And even then, I think I still found a way to get it in at least once. So the people who improve the fastest are usually the ones who are willing to suck at something for a while, and they don't panic when they get exposed. Like I think a lot of times we get that rise of panic because we don't want to feel vulnerable, but that's okay. I mean, that's just fitness, right? And then fit people will use that as fuel to get better at something, and then they have a project to work on, which is actually fun to do, depending on how you look at it. And then pressure exposes cracks, but pressure is also what strengthens things as well, because guess what, usually when you get better at one thing, when you expose a weakness and then you work on it, typically that actually transfers over to other things. So for example, I've been working a lot on my overhead pressing specifically because my handstand push-ups suck, right? But what I found is that my horizontal pressing got a lot better as well, without even directly working on that a lot. And so after I did all this horizontal pressing, I did do a little more, not horizontal, so vertical pressing. When I went into more horizontal pressing to get ready for Murph, I kind of went more biased towards that to get ready for it because I knew that was coming for 200 push-ups. Is that, guess what? Like my push-ups were the best they've ever been, without even directly working on it. And then also on top of that, I found my muscle ups got better. Even though I wasn't directly working horizontal, like vertical dipping, I was only working on overhead pressing. My dips got significantly better. Like the other day I did a build and burn workout, and it was like 10 strict ring dips, and it was the easiest strict ring dips I've done in years, just simply from doing pressing overhead. So you have to remember that when you do get good at something, that will carry over. Like for example, like if you run more, maybe that'll help your lungs and breathe easier when you're rowing or biking or echo biking. So like usually when you solve one big problem, it actually transfers over to all these small little ones that are actually cohesive and actually transferred to other things as well. So remember, like a lot of times we think that, oh man, like I have to work specifically on this. Ew, I don't like it. It sucks. But we don't realize that the benefits we're going to get from the other applications that we have, especially in CrossFit when there's so many different things to work on. Usually there's some higher leverage exercises that will get us from point A to point B and make us fitter overall, and then transfer to other movements as well. So what are those things that you can do right now? Well, first off, keep the hard stuff in, right? Stop constantly modifying and build your engine. Now, modifying is a case-by-case basis. Don't take this at face value. But if you're one of those people who modify just because you don't like an exercise, stop doing that. I'm talking to you. And then I want you to repeat basic habits consistently. Now, boring is where the progress happens. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you this. I wish there was some fancy hack that I could tell you. I wish there was a supplement I could sell you, but I have nothing to sell you other than the fact that what you do consistently is what matters the most. And focus less on hacks and more on reps. The more reps you get in the short amount of time, the better progress you're going to get. Commit to doing it every day, and guess what? You're going to get there a lot faster. Accumulate 100 days doing something consistently, doing it the right way, at the right time, for the right amount of time, and then you can come back and tell me that it didn't work. And most people they're trying to outsmart the basics, but the basics are undefeated. And I think this always comes back to anything, is like, this is true for business, life, fitness, relationships, family, that if you can't do the basics well, what makes you think you can do the advanced things well? If you can't do a strict pull-up well, what makes you think you can do a ring muscle up well? There's always things that come before that people want to avoid just because it looks sexy and because it looks cool. And they want to do the cool stuff right away, and then they see all these higher level people doing all these cool things, when in reality, they don't see the years of work put in behind it to actually get there in the first place. Now, I'm not going to lie, there are outliers out there, right? Like the 80-20 rule that I always say, like, some of this doesn't apply to 20%, maybe even less of the population. But guess what? The majority of us aren't like that. And the majority of us need to work harder than what we think we need to. And it's always going to take longer than you think it's going to take. It's always going to be harder than you think it takes. But when you get there, I'm telling you guys that it's 100% worth it. And the number one pattern I notice with unhealthy and unfit people, they spend more energy trying to escape the work than actually doing it. Every shortcut slowly trains weakness. Every hard thing you lean to eventually will build capacity. And the moment you see the pattern, you will stop being trapped by it. Until next time, good luck, have fun, and nailed it.